Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Namaste all. Welcome to the 5th episode of the Bhagavad Gita podcast. In the last episode, me and my dad, we both discussed the Saankhya Yoga and started a deep dive in that chapter. And if you're interested in that, definitely check out the link in the description. But in this episode, I want to continue that deep dive. So I want to start off where we left off previously. Right? I asked you a question about Chatu-Sutri.
Yeah.
And you said that it was one of the elements mentioned in the Saankhya Yoga. And I want to ask, what exactly is Chatu-Sutri?
Sure, yeah. So, as I previously mentioned in the earlier last episode, Saankhya Yoga has the entire essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita, and very, very important aspect is the Chatu-Sutri, right? So, again, as the name defines, Chatu-Sutri is, Sutram is just like a rule.
Okay.
Sutram, right? And Chatu-Sutri is like 4 rules. Okay. And this is also known as Karma Siddhanta or Karma Yoga, like a different names. But this talks about Karmanyeva Adhikaraste. What is that sloka?
Yeah. Karmanyeva Adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalahetur bhuhu ma te sangostva karmani.
Right. So, whenever we talk about the rules, right, it's almost like the rules of the road, right? So it talks about the things that you have to do, the things that you cannot do. What we call it as do's and don'ts, right? Remember, we were talking about how Lord Krishna simplifies things as well in the previous episode, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much he's talking about karma is work, right? Any work that you do is called as karma.
Okay.
So regarding how to do work, he is laying out these 4 rules or the 4 principles. So karmani eva adhikaraste. So that the first line says te adhikaraha, means like adhikara means your authority or your right. He's saying that your right is only to do karma. Te adhikaraha karmani eva, only doing karma, meaning like your right is only to do the job, do the work, right? Ma means like no or not. And in the next line, in the next rule, it's ma phaleshu kadachana. Kadachana means never ever, not even a single time. Phaleshu means like he's saying that you don't have any authority or any right in the fruits of the work that you do. Ma phaleshu kadachana.
Okay.
Again, as I said, do's and don'ts, right?
Yeah.
So what it is saying is, just focus on doing your job, doing the work. Don't expect the results, right? Okay. Again, some people don't understand this correctly. They think that, okay, so does it mean your work, your karma doesn't have result? It will yield results. But what he's trying to say here is, your focus should always be doing the work, right? Do, as an example, like if you want to give the exam, right? So your focus should be preparing for the exam and writing the exam in the proper way, right?
Yeah.
Focusing on that. And you do not worry about the marks or something, because what will happen if you start expecting the results, that is going to cause you stress.
Yeah.
Lot of students, kids, and even adults today, they are undergoing the stress, right? Because if you think that this is how the fruit of the work has to be, then you are kind of dictating something which is not in your control. So what Lord Krishna is saying is that just focus on the things that you have 100% control on, things like what you have to do, the karma, right?
Yeah.
And when you detach yourself from the expectation, you can focus more on doing the work, right? So he's saying do and don't.
Okay.
And what is the next line? Ma
karma phalahetur bhuhu.
Then the third one is saying that, okay, so then more likely people will think that, okay, so this I am doing this, right? Karma phalahetur bhuhu. Hetu means the reason. So he's saying that don't think, again ma means like not. He's saying don't think that you are the reason for the fruits. So what will happen if you think you are the reason for the fruits? You are thinking that what we call as the I, right? I am doing it.
Yeah.
That I keeps on coming to the front. Then actually that makes you being like feeling either proud or feeling very sad. Let's say you are successful in that, right?
Okay.
You will think that I did it. Only I can do it, right? That is bad. And if the results are not good the way you expected, then you are thinking that okay, I did it. Then you are feeling depressed, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying that you are just an instrument. Think that you are an instrument. To give an example, to lift the items, let's say in the home or the kitchen, you use the tongs, right?
Yeah.
Tongs are the forceps. So when you are lifting this item, the utensil with these tongs cannot think that I am doing the job, I am lifting it, right? So you be the instrument, as simple as thinking that you are an instrument in the hands. Okay. So this has again two levels of meaning. One is the deeper meaning is do everything as a service to the God, right? So in that case, if you are not thinking okay, it's me doing it, then you think that it is the service to the God. Remember we talked about work is worship. I'm sure you heard about this, right? Yeah. Work is worship. Meaning, if you are doing the work almost like a worship, if you really are focused, then the work itself will be a worship for you. Thinking that okay, only when you think that okay, you are an instrument in the hands of the God, right? Like it will take away the belongingness, right? That the accountability in your mind that I am the reason for the result, right? So these are the three things. And somebody might think that okay, hey, this looks like very complicated to do the work. How about not doing the work? Okay. So the last sutra is saying ma karma phala heturbur ma te
sangostva karmani
te sangaha astu akarmani ma astu. He's saying that okay, so if you think that this is becoming little complicated, then can I just stop doing the work? He says no, you cannot do it. Another no, right? Another don't. He's saying that you cannot stop doing what you are supposed to do it, right? So this is called as again karma siddhantam or like a karma yogam, karma sutra, but very very important because whenever you are doing the work, focus on the work. And actually, if you follow these rules of the road, if you want to walk on the road safely, you have to follow the rules, right? You have to cross in the pedestrian walking lane, and probably you have to stop when there is a red light. Yeah. But similarly, he's laying out these do's and don'ts, which is very very powerful, and also in a way that would take away a lot of stress on us, right, from us. Yeah. Because you are saying that okay, I'm just doing this job because I'm supposed to do, and focus is more on your practice, your way of doing it, and than actually expecting something which is not in your control. Again, going back to the example, right, where like you are writing the exam and don't worry about the marks and you will get what you deserve. But if you worry about the marks and you are not going to perform the way you have to perform, right, that is the essence of this Chatu-Sutri. Means like 4 sutras. Okay. Very, very important. And actually the work is worship is coming from this. That proverb actually comes from this. Okay.
Also, I think you mentioned previously that Krishna gives almost like a clear call for action to Arjuna in this chapter.
Right.
What exactly is that call for action?
Right. So again, if you really look at the narration of what actually has happened, right? Like Arjuna became sad, then Krishna said like no tyaktotishta parantapa, right? He said like no, get rid of your weakness. Shudram hrudaya daurbalya. And that's good, but that's not enough because Arjuna asked so many questions. Towards the end of the Vishada Yoga, like probably around so many questions, right? And also some questions continued in Saankhya Yoga. So the call for action is twofold, where he's answering the questions that Arjuna posed, right? Because unless your questions are answered, you are not convinced. And unless you are convinced, you cannot really act with like intentionality, meaning like with force, right? With the dedication. So that is what actually Krishna tries to do. So one of the slokas where he says dharmathi yuddhat sreyaha. What is that sloka?
Swadharmamapi chavekshya navikampitumārhasi dharmyadhiyuddha shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate.
Right. So he is saying that swadharma means like your job. Okay. And if you have something to be done, regardless of your whatever you are doing, right? You are like as a student, you have to go to the school, you have to do your homework and whatever you have to pay attention, right? Or you are going for the work, like if you are an adult, right? So there he is saying na vikampitum arhasi. So he is saying that you cannot waver.
Okay.
Right? He is saying that you cannot waver. Doing your job. Swadharmam means like doing your job, you cannot waver. And now he is saying that's a generic example. But now he is saying that you are a king. Right?
Right.
So for a king, what should king do? King should protect the dharma. Right? So he is saying dharmathi yuddhat. To protect this dharma, yuddhat sreyaha anyat
kshatriyasya na vidyate.
Kshatriyasya, because you are a king. For Kshatriya, what they are supposed to do is always protecting dharma, and as a means of protecting dharma, they have to do the war. Yuddhat sreyaha means that's good. Anyat na vidyate, meaning like kings, they don't have any other means. Basically, he's trying to answer the question like, okay, why should I wage this war, right? And I don't want to kill these people. And he's saying that, okay, your dharma is to fight. You cannot give up now. Don't think this is like this is the best thing that you have to do, because you have to protect dharma, right? That is your duty as the king, right? That's what he's saying that. And the other sloka where he says tasmad uttishta kaunteya. What is that sloka?
Hato va prapsyasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchayaha.
So he is saying, reiterating, he is saying that, okay, yuddhaya krita nishchayaha, be determined. Tasmad uttishta kaunteya. Remember he said tektottishta. Now he is saying, okay, but tasmad uttishta kaunteya, before that he said
Hato va prapsyasi swargam.
Yeah. So if you get killed, you are fighting in the war, and if you get killed for protecting the dharma, is saying that you will go to the swargam.
Okay.
Jitva va
bhokshase mahim.
Okay, if you win, right? If you win, you will be the ruler of the kingdom.
Yeah.
So he is saying that if you really look at this, so the beauty is, he's not saying that, hey, I am the Lord, I am your guru, I am by your side, and you will win. He's not promising that. He's saying that, remember, like in the earlier we talked about don't expect the fruits of the work, right?
Yeah.
He's saying that you either, like you are fighting, so you either win or you may lose, right? That's not in your hands completely.
Yeah.
But he's saying if you lose, you will go to Swarga. If you win, you will be the king. Yeah. You will be the ruler, right? So that is the reason. Tasmad uttishta kaunteya. He's saying that, so get up and yuddhaya krita nishchaya. Be determined to fight. So he's kind of reinforcing, as I said, this is the real call for action, right? And also he again reiterates this in another sloka, which is tato yuddhaya yujyasva. What is that sloka?
Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Right.
So again, similar to the earlier sloka, right? He's saying that labha labhau jaya jayau. You can, like you may win, you may lose. You may get, you may gain, or you may not. You may lose, right?
Yeah.
So, but your job is to be determined, be prepared to fight. Dhaya yajasva
Naivam papam
naivam papam avapsyasi. Because one of the questions Arjuna poses is, okay, if I kill these people, these are my elderly, my own grandfathers, right? My uncles, my gurus. If I kill them, am I not going to get sin? He's saying that no. If you are on the side of the dharma, you are doing your swadharmam, whatever you are supposed to do, then naivam papam avapsasi. You are never going to get that papam. So he's giving that assurance as well. So if you really look at that call for action, like a real leader, real coach, right? The guru by the side of Arjuna is saying that he's not actually giving the call for action. He's giving the justification as well, right? He's giving that clarification, like no, why he should do it, right? With the reasoning, and he's saying that okay, don't get too much bogged down by these results, right? These conflicting things will come and go, right? But you are supposed to be focused and on delivering your duty, which here is fighting the war. And again, you may ask like, okay, so the call for action for Arjuna is fighting the war, but he didn't stop there. He actually gave call for action for all of us as well.
Wow. Okay. I mean, you just mentioned that he gave a call for action for us. What exactly is that call for action that he gave to us?
Right. So the first thing I would say, again, the karma siddhanta, the karma sutra that we talked about, right? In the similar lines, he says, yogastha kuru karmani.
Yeah.
So in one of the slokas, what is that sloka?
Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyagva dhananjaya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate.
So he is saying that kuru karmani. Karma, as I said, like your work. Kuru means do. Right? Very simple thing. He is saying kuru karmani. But while doing your job, he said yogastha means like no, be in the yogam. Right? Again, as I said, I think in the previous episodes, in the episodes 1 and 2, we talked about yogam having a lot of meanings, right? And again, like he doesn't want us to get confused. In the second line, he says, Siddha
siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate.
Samatvam. So he's saying, what is that yogam? Siddhi, asiddhi. Means like, no, you may win, you may not win.
Yeah.
Treat them in the like equal. Again, he said, so this is where you have to sangam tyaktva, meaning sangam is the attachment. So when you are doing the work, this is very, very similar to the karma sutram that we talked about, right? So yogastha kuru karmani. While doing the job, be like concentrate on just the job, right? And also be in the yogam, which is nothing but the samatvam yoga uchyate, right? Meaning samatvam is like equality. So equality on what is going to happen, right? Like siddhi, you may be successful or you may not be successful. But if you remove that sangam tyaktva, meaning sangam is the attachment, he's saying do the job but remove that attachment. And then even in the Arjuna's sloka earlier, like he said that, okay, so you may win, you may not win, right? So this is a call for action for all of us. He's saying that yogastha kuru karmani. If you are doing a job, don't have too much of attachment to the results, or even sometimes the thing that you are doing, right?
Yeah.
Because if as far as you are in that yogastha, means like you are in the middle of, you are always concentrating on doing the job, then you will be successful. Success will follow you. You don't run after success.
Right.
I mean, they say that success is like the tail of the puppy, the dog. Right? So if you do the things, the tail will follow the puppy. Right? Because the puppy doesn't follow the tail.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are really focusing on the work, success will automatically follow you. Right? That is one of the things. And The other sloka I would say is, again, he talks about Vyavasayatmika Buddhi.
Buddhi.
That's very, very important. What is that sloka?
Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kuru nandana bahusakhayanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam.
This is very important these days, especially because we think that, okay, we can do so many things at the same time, like multitasking.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this? Like,
Yeah.
you think you are a good multitasker yourself, maybe,
Yeah.
sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
But Vyavasayatmika, so Vyavasayam is like a determination, having this resoluteness, right?
Okay.
So he is saying that you have to have this concentrated, like, the determination in the mind. So, Ekeha Kurunandana. Kurunandana is again like he is referring to Arjuna, right? So, that determination you need to have only on one. As an example, you know how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Yes? How many bikes can you ride at the same time?
One.
How about riding 2 bikes? Can you do that?
No.
Right? So, that is what in the second line he is saying. Okay, so what happens if I don't have this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi? Bahusakha Anantascha. Ananta is unlimited. Sakha is the branch. So the people who are not focusing on one thing, right? Even in the management principles, when we teach, we say that focus on one thing at a time. Get it delivered, right?
Yeah.
So what will happen if you don't focus on one thing? Then it's almost like you are trying to. This is like your mind is like the monkey, right? Like a monkey trying to climb onto 100 branches, which is impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Bahusakha anantascha
Buddhayo vyavasayinam.
buddhayo avyavasayanam. So it is saying that if for anybody who is not able to having this concentration or resolution in the mind, so their concentration, they cannot really focus, right? We call it as like a focusing on the things to deliver. And again, that's why I said you cannot really multitask. Multitasking is not good. If you think that you are really good at multitasking, actually you are not being so productive, right? So it's not actually yielding very, very good result, right?
It's counterproductive.
Counterproductive. So you really want to focus on one thing at a time, and that's what the mind is actually really good at focusing. That's what he says. And probably the another one I would call for is a call for action for all of us. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya. What is there is one sloka, right? What is that?
Neha bhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Right.
So he is referring to mahat means like the biggest. Bhayam is the fear. Right. Again, you can consider this as even like in-depth meaning or even like a higher level, right? Like if you really want to cross this ocean of fear, right? You need to really focus on at least having swalpamapyasya dharmasya. At least a small bit of dharma is on your side. You will be able to cross this. Just to give an example, like there's a big ocean, right? Let's say that the ship actually broke and something happened in the middle of the sea, and they need like one lifeboat, right? Or maybe one wooden log to be able to come to the shore, right? So something like that. So trayate means like you are able to cross, right? So what he's saying is, again, if you are determined, going back to some of the slokas, if you are determined, if you are focused on doing your job, if you don't have that attachment, right? And you are on the side of this swalpamapyasya dharmasya, at least like having that bent of mind of following the dharma, that will help you cross this ocean of fear, right?
Mahato
bhayat, right? So again, you can apply to the day-to-day life as if like, okay, you have to give this big exam, right? Maybe for your graduation, for the college, or like SAT or whatever have you, right? So you need to really have this little bit of the concentration and focus. Again, dharma, we said, doing your job, as simple as that, but doing the right thing at the right time. So he's saying that if you really focus on doing the right thing at the right time, it will help you be successful. And don't think too much about the fruits that will actually stress you. Rather than that, focus on the things that are in your control. That is the call for action for all of us as well.
Wow. I think you mentioned before that we have to stay focused on one thing at a time, right? But a big problem I see today with many students is that they're really distracted, by their phones, by gadgets, by social media. So, does Lord Krishna provide any solutions to this problem?